Intuition, rationality, and logic. Strategic planning, intelligence, knowledge, and competence. What does this describe? This is the world of an INTJ. We love to think about things, and our personality is dominated by such traits. It seems like we're constantly gathering information about systems and other types of people. However, it seems we rarely get a chance to see our dominant traits shown on the silver screen. That's why I thought it might be fun to make a little list of movies that an INTJ should find interest in. This does not necessarily mean that the characters in the movie are INTJs, but that it should at the very least be interesting and give us something to think about. Unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly why these movies would be great for INTJs without destroying the pleasure of watching them for the first time. So I will only mention the movie and give a brief overview of why I think it fits. Maybe you won't agree with my assessment. Maybe you will think of other ones that I missed. Please let me know in the comments. But without further ado, I give you movies an INTJ should like. No Country for Old Men. The movie seems very literary to me. I don't know if I can describe it accurately, but it's sort of like the feeling you get when you're reading a good book and how you make mental pictures. Well, this is just like that, except you're watching a great book rather than reading it. It has fantastic pacing, it has a great atmosphere, the underlying themes are very interesting and deep. The movie itself is a commentary on society and analyzes the nature of good versus evil. There seems to be as much shown on camera as there is suggested by it in actions that are off camera. And it's even possible that the main bad guy is portrayed as an INTJ. So I would suggest No Country for Old Men. A Separation. This is a foreign film, so it's subtitled, but it's very rich in characterization. It's complex, but not complicated. And it contains a lot of gray areas in which the characters actually act like real humans, rather than just like a paper-thin archetype. It has a very deliberate pace, but it kept me captivated with its great performances and strong direction. I definitely think that it's one to check out, especially with the logic of each character actually feeling individual. Nightcrawler. It's dark, almost surrealist. The pacing is fantastic, cinematography is really good. The character is the main focus of this. He's driven, he's smart. It's possible that they're trying to portray him as an INTJ. The way that he uses his rationality and strategic planning specifically, you actually see the character start to learn things, start to work them out, start to get really good at them, and then is able to use these things against the other characters. So it's really fascinating. This movie also is a commentary on like society and the media, and it has great dialogue. I would highly suggest Nightcrawler. Good Night and Good Luck. This is a fact-based drama about the famous radio journalist Edward R. Murrow and his stand against Senator McCarthy's anti-communist witch hunts in the early 1950s. It's interestingly directed by George Clooney. I thought he did a fantastic job. I'm not a huge fan of his as an actor, but he has a really quality eye, a really good eye for direction, I think. It contains a host of great actors. I'm sure that probably helps. The dialogue is crisp. It's filmed in black and white. At times it even plays more like a documentary than just a strict narrative, but it really makes it seem authentic. A very interesting and well done movie. I think if you're into historical things or how like two different ideas can clash and the results coming from what people are able to say in the media, you should definitely check out Good Night and Good Luck. Mystic River. This is a Clint Eastwood film. It's a very engrossing movie about human emotion, depression, and how the past can come back to haunt us. I really would like to talk about this movie, but almost anything about it would be spoiler material. so unfortunately I can't talk about it. Once again, terrific cast. The characters are very deep, well-defined, and you actually see them being stand out, and they're separated from the other characters. I like having the distinct voice of the character really come through. This movie also has a lot of psychological depth and displays a keen awareness of human motivation. So either the director Clint Eastwood or the writer or whatever must have either gone through some of these or did a lot of research and really nailed down those characters and the feel of the movie. Superb job. You should check out Mystic River. The Godfather. What hasn't been said about this movie already? If you haven't seen it, stop the recording and go see it now. I mean, literally, it's a very, very popular movie, so very well done, very iconic. Plus, the main character is most likely an INTJ, the Al Pacino character. It's possible, I know there's kind of some contention about the different things, but Marlon Brando's character and Robert Duvall's character have also been mentioned as possibly being INTJs. So this is probably the only movie with 3 potential INTJ performances, or at least characterizations. So, again, if you haven't seen it, definitely should check it out. Casino. This is a Martin Scorsese movie. And De Niro is the main character. I don't know if De Niro is an INTJ, supposedly in this. It is based on a real character. I mean, a real person, excuse me. And the thing about the character is he's very meticulous. He's very detail-oriented. He's able to see a big picture. He's able to break things apart. He's able to understand things. But it's kind of like the people in his life. And it's sort of a rise and a fall of kind of a criminal organization, basically, in Las Vegas. So it's really interesting to see De Niro play that kind of a character, and then to see how the other characters play off him and how they react to him, and what eventually leads to his downfall. I think it's an interesting story. Maybe not specifically INTJ, but there are some traits there that you will definitely notice if you're looking for them in De Niro's character. So I recommend Casino from Scorsese. Last but not least, Paths of Glory. How could you keep a Kubrick movie off of a list of INTJ quality material? Powerful acting, powerful directing, powerful cast, powerful visuals. What else do you expect from the master? Just a fantastically good story, realistic characters. It seemed like it was taken from something historical, even if it's not an exact representation. The concept is historical. There is so much, not necessarily symbolism, but so much representation of concepts of this movie. After seeing it, you can talk about all the things that went on, what was right, what was wrong, where things went wrong, what things should be done. It's not just... It's a story that's not just set in the time period, but it further expands out to even modern day. Obviously, he was a very ahead of his time director, and if you haven't seen Paths of Glory, you definitely should check it out. So anyway, those are my movie picks. I think if you are an INTJ or you're interested in those types of topics, these are good quality movies. You should definitely check them out if you haven't seen them. If you're a fan of film, you don't have to necessarily have a huge knowledge of film to be able to appreciate them, even though I think that does help some. But if you have a huge knowledge of film, more than likely you've seen most, if not all, of these. If you do get a chance to watch them, please let me know what you think about them. If you think if I'm right on with my assessment, or do you think I'm completely off and it doesn't fit or match, or you didn't see anything about it, we can talk about it, or I can say the things I thought about it, or whatever. Also, do you like me doing these kind of videos where it's a little more lighthearted and more like my opinion about things, rather than always being cold hard facts, or... I guess what I'm getting at is everything doesn't have to be like a negative dissecting of like really important things that could be a broad picture about where life is going, where did life originate, all of these types of things. We can also have fun and enjoy life and talk about things that we like and good things. So let me know your thoughts on it if you have any thoughts. Obviously, upvotes and downvotes work just fine. You don't necessarily have to type anything, and if you don't feel like saying anything, that's fine too. I just really appreciate you watching my videos and hope you have a good evening.